Hi there, I'm Denise Brandt, and I'm the media specialist at Lone Pine Elementary. So I work with kindergarten through third grade, and I also work with fourth graders over at West Hills. I want to welcome you to Lone Pine and walk you through a few things related to technology. First off, I wanted to start off by showing you pictures of the Media Center, just in case you haven't had a chance to come into Lone Pine. So this is kind of the back area of the library, and our library really is, as you can see, that's the heart of our school. It's a great place to learn. This is a screenshot of our Lone Pine website. So you can always start here as a good starting point. And if you notice over on the left-hand side where there's this red arrow, you can see it says Media Center. And from the Media Center library page, there's all sorts of great links that are going to be really useful for you and your students. Usually when kids are at Lone Pine, we have this as our starting page in the computer lab or on any of our devices. And that might also show up when you use our devices at home. Some students will be using iPads and some students will be using Chromebooks. From the library page, there's all these links down the middle. Those were just different links to resources that students use during the summer or during the school year. In the middle here, you see you can search the library catalog. So you can look and see what books we own. And we do have a few ebooks on our library catalog that students could look at, but we also are generally showing you other resources here in this middle part where it says website links. So that will take you to different websites that teachers have recommended or that I suggest. This last area where you see the word clever, that icon represents a system that we use for, it's like a one-step sign-in system. And if students log into that using their school Google username and password, then they can get to all sorts of things. If your child was at Lone Pine and they attended in person, they would come home with a piece of paper that looks like this screen, and it explains that we have student Google accounts. They can use that for email, going to Google Classroom, creating their own websites. There's all sorts of things in the Google suite. What I wanted to show this to you is so that you could see what their username would look like and how it's organized. So this configuration shows it's the student's last name with a period, their first name, and then the last two digits of the student number, and then it's at bloomfield.org. Students can only receive emails with people that are involved with the Bloomfield Hills domain organization. So you will find your student's username and password in the MyStar component, or that will be shown to you or given to you by your teacher. We have a couple different resources for parents that will be listed on our district website. And one of them is to show you this, that you can use Clever on iPads, on computers, on Chromebooks. And this is the app that allows your students just to sign in to all of the different databases and subscriptions that we purchase. Once you go onto Clever, so right now I'm signed into Clever as a student, and you'll notice that it's organized. It says Media Center, and these are quick links to get to the library site that I just showed you. There's different places for math. So this is our math location. There is different websites like Epic for reading books online. There's something called Pebble Go. There will be all different sorts of programs that the district puts in this space, and then teachers can also tailor it to their needs. So if they specifically want your student to go somewhere, they can add it into this site. On the left-hand side up here, you'll notice that they're also listed on the sidebar here. And for instance, if the student goes to this Google Suite section and they want to get to their Google Classroom, that's how the teachers will really communicate with the students and tell them, show them, give them links of assignments they're doing. You can click up in the left or the right-hand corner of the icon, and that will make it a favorite. And that puts it right here under favorite resources. So even our youngest students can start using this. For my Google Classroom section, since I'm in 3 classrooms right now, this is just an example, mine would look like this. So I have this one Google Classroom, it's called Sample. I'm in this Google Classroom called Lone Pine and Conan, and I'm also in this Media Center collaboration. Your child would have their classroom teachers, Google Classroom, and they'll also have Google Classrooms by the specialists, meaning art, gym, music, Spanish, and library. This is kind of the next step layer into a Google Classroom screen. And so you can see across the top, it's organized by stream, classwork, the people that are in the class. And I don't believe yours will have grades. It might. It just depends on how it's set up. Initially, you might see across the top here where this red arrow is pointing, it says the Meet link. It depends on what the teacher is using. If they're using Google Meet to see your student, then that address will take them there. Some teachers will be using Zoom. All right, the next thing to look at is, this is going a little bit deeper into it. So at first I showed you the stream page of Google Classroom. Next I clicked on the Classwork tab, and this is just my sample. So this assignment is called the Library Lion, and when the student chooses this here and clicks on it, then that will show them their assignment. You'll also notice that teachers can organize this by topic. So it could be listed by the time they get the assignment or by topic. Some things to think about when you're getting your students set up for online learning, whether it's a Google Meet or Zoom, we want to talk to them about etiquette. And at Lone Pine, we call that our essential agreements. It's like our technology essential agreements. So some of the things you're going to want to go over is the microphone, or some basic things such as sitting your child still, right, in a seat, but having the computer setting on a tabletop so that it's not moving all around. Other things to think about: do not share your screen unless you're told to by your teacher. Sit where the laptop or the iPad remains immobile on a desk or a table, and that the camera is directed on the face. Set your device on a hard surface and do not move it around. Wear appropriate clothes. Do not talk when someone else is talking. Do not chat in the background during a presentation or lecture. Teachers will have questions only. Keep your video on unless the teacher directs you to turn it off. You're expected to be in your class and paying attention. Do not mute or delete others from the room. Do not use emojis unless asked to by your teacher. And don't make faces or exhibit other distracting behavior. This is a lot for our young learners. You might recognize this icon or name. It's called Envision Math, and that you'll also find by signing into Clever. And this is where your students can go online. It will be used possibly starting in first grade, second grade, third grade, and up. Kindergarten might not get to using this aspect online until. I just wanted to welcome you again to Lone Pine. If you have any questions, we're always here to help. Don't let the technology overwhelm you or your students. And we are always here to help answer questions. And I'm wishing you the most successful and peaceful school year. Thank you.